The lead investigator in the murder of soccer star Senzo Meyiwa has denied offering accused number 2 Bongani Ntanzi a R3 million bribe to implicate his co-accused in the killing. Brigadier Bongani Gininda rubbished the allegation accusing Ntanzi of lying. This emerged as Advocate Thulani Mngomezulu continued his cross-examination of Gininda, who also denied forcing Ntanzi to sign a prepared confession.
So in a new development, Ntanzi claims that the lead investigator in this case, Brigadier Bongani Gininda, offered him a R3 million bribe on the 21st of June 2020. So this was just 2 days after his first alleged confession and 3 days before his alleged second confession on the 24th of June 2020. But Gininda has poured cold water on this claim.
I've never heard it. It's the first time. But I must say, my lord, it's absolutely not true. It's a lie. I'll put it in that strong context. It's absolute lies. There's no budget, my lord, that I have even to make such an offer. I didn't have a budget of 3 million for the unit during that time. I didn't have that budget. Let's just start there. I don't have it, my lord. Now, and I don't know even if it was available, my lord, why would I do that? The accused cooperated with me on the 18th. He told me that he's willing to make a statement freely and voluntarily. Subsequent to that, on the 19th in the morning, he made a confession. The confession was made in the morning of the 19th. What is the point of going to him on the 21st and offer him whatever promises? There was no promises made. On the confession that he made on the 19th, the accused that are before court were already implicated. There's nothing that he left out. On the morning confession, although I got it a day or 2 days later, but he implicated everyone, my lord. So this assertion that I would have made a proposal with him, he implicated the role each and every person played if one looks into that confession, my lord. It's self-explanatory. You don't have to ask anything. You simply have to follow and collaborate what is contained there, my lord.
Gininda again denied that any of the accused were tortured and that he ever forced Ntanzi to sign a prepared confession.
Where they stopped, according to his version, they stopped at a place next to
where there are discarded ATM machines.
ATM machines, yes. That's where he was assaulted. He was assaulted up to the time when you arrived on that night with Sergeant Mkhola and that male person with the braces. That's when you were driving a white BMW. You sat on the edge of the back of the motor vehicle of that BMW, and you took out some document wherein you told him that he must sign here, otherwise they'll proceed with what they were doing.
Yeah, so my lord, but that's not true, my lord. After the court proceedings, after accused 2 was not enrolled, what I recall, and I recall this on what is documented in the AVL. I might not be precise with everything. I'm not sure about the stops of Alberton, but subsequent to the Sergeant Mokgane leaving East Rand, he went to Moroka. From Moroka, the AVL shows, my lord, in that afternoon that he drove towards Pretoria, taking, I think it's the N4 to the Northwest Province. Nowhere did that vehicle drive back to Baragwanath Hospital and stop. The AVL record shows that.
While Gininda maintains Ntanzi was legally represented during his alleged second confession, Ntanzi, though, denies this.
Accused number 2 will deny having instructed Mr. Mchiako, will deny that he signed a confession before a magistrate. The only document he signed was a document shown to him in Germiston around industrial area. That's where he was compelled, because he was beaten there, to sign the document.
What I know, on the 23rd, he accused 2 stood up and said, "This is my attorney," before the introductions by Mr. Mjiako. That is the first part. The second part on the 23rd, on the 24th, when at a later stage I received the confession document, by the way, that did not have blood stains, because I have the original confession document and it's available, my lord. There are no blood stains.
They say it must have blood stains.
No, it doesn't have, my lord. I can show it to the court and we dealt with it. I think
no, you can't show it to me. Do you want to see it, Mr. Mngomezulu?
No, my lord.
It's
fine.
It's available, my lord. It does not have a single stain of blood that I can put it that far. Now, and in that document, Mr. Mjiako is recorded by the magistrate as the legal representative of accused number 2. Furthermore, my lord, on the first appearance of this matter, I've said this before, Mr. Mjiako is on record in Boksburg Magistrate Court. He further went on record in Pukeng, where accused 2 was recorded. So I don't understand, my lord, why would such a person appear in all these matters more than once, yet there are no instructions from accused 2.
So court adjourned early as the defense wanted the full transcript and disc of the accused's first appearance to determine whether Ntanzi fired Mjiako as his legal representative. Crisalda Lewis, SABC News, at the High Court in Pretoria.
Well, let's bring legal analyst Melusi Xulu to unpack the recent developments from the Senzo Meyiwa case sitting at the High Court in Pretoria. Melusi, good afternoon and thank you for your time on the SABC at this hour.
Good afternoon, Lizelle, to the viewers at home.
Let's backtrack a little bit and look at what happened yesterday. Gininda's testimony, the testimony obviously reflecting that Kelly Khumalo was now fingered by 2 people in the dark. What are your observations?
My observation is that it's a very interesting revelation because there's always been a question that as if there was a mastermind, who's the mastermind? But at this point, we still don't know how much evidence there is that points to Kelly Khumalo, except that there are suspicions. Then the question would be, if there is evidence, why has she not been arrested? Then that is the question that the NPA will have to answer.
Thank you for that. So as we fast forward to today's cross-examination, obviously looking at the bribery offer to accused number 2 allegedly by Gininda following his alleged confession, what also comes to the fore on that front?
Well, it was the first time we heard it in court, obviously, but there has been reports in the media that the father of accused number 2, which is Ntanzi, he has stated that his son, when he came to him when he was arrested by the police brought him to his homestead. He stated that they promised him 3 million if he'll implicate the other co-accused. It's just it's the first time it's on record in court. But what comes to mind is that it's obviously the version of the accused and which is denied by Brigadier Gininda. So it doesn't take anything far. It doesn't take the case of the accused very far unless there's evidence. Obviously, they can bring his father to corroborate that, but that's as far as this is what is stated. It just brings suspicions, but I don't think it carries it far as if it damages the state's case. It just brings suspicions, though. But if there's no evidence, it's not going to assist him very much.
Dominique Mjiako and the video by accused 2 when he was fired as the legal rep. What are you also observing on that front?
My thinking is that, look, if you have an attorney who's assisting the accused or his client to make a confession, and then there are issues with that confession, his testimony will be needed at the end of the day. But there is a video, which I think you guys have, which was live when this matter was postponed, I think in 2020, where Mr. Ntanzi stated that he does not want to be represented by Mr. Mjiako, but he wants to be represented by legal aid. But the court is saying they want the attorneys to make representations or heads of argument why that video can be allowed. But the thing is, the attorney or advocate for accused 1 and 2, he said he got it from TikTok, but I don't know how far he went to get it from the media studios, which is possibly SABC and others, to say, guys, can you give me that video to show that it was obtained in a proper manner, because there are 2 or 3 things that the court will want just before I end on this point. They'll want to know if the video is original. They'll want to know if the video is authentic. So let's see tomorrow how those representations will be made and what the court will state.
Well, we certainly are monitoring developments. Melusi, just very quickly as we wrap up, given the structure and the procedures for a trial within a trial, what happens now? Will Kelly Khumalo ultimately be called to the stand? Some are questioning where her mom was during all of this as well. Walk us through that from your vantage point.
Well, the interesting point is she's not an accused at this point, and maybe she's a suspect, but also remember the other issue is she's a witness, and there was a point or a point in time where the state said they will not be calling her any longer as a witness. So what comes to mind is, should they have evidence, they might probably open another case against her. But for now, it's just speculations. There should be evidence. But if there's possibly phone records of a link to the accused and more evidence, the state might consider bringing the case against or opening a case against it. But so far, the NPA will have to explain why she hasn't been arrested, and they'll possibly state that there's not much evidence. But let's see how they will explain, because they've not told us why she has not been arrested.
Let's see the conversation there. Thank you for your time at this hour and for weighing in. Melusi Xulu is a legal analyst. He was just unpacking the recent developments in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial that's taking place at the Pretoria High Court.